It's way worse.
Gulp, gulp, gulp.
It's way worse the second one. The other joke that I could only get work 20% of the time was my girlfriend's grandma died a couple of weeks ago. And last night we were making love and she burst into tears while we were making love. And I did what any good boyfriend would do. I power fucked her.
Yeah, 20%.
Yeah, 20%.
20%. That's a 20%.
It's a harsh joke. It's fucking terrible. And I took the fucking Natalie Portman joke, that joke. I made up this Tijuana, you know what I mean, story.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
You added 30 Black Marines to you.
I know,
Oh,
I'm going to get to that.
I've heard about this.
Right. So then, but in my mind, I'm like, no one ever talks about the second half of the story.
The
right?
crazy part.
The crazy part. They focus on the Natalie Portman, whatever. It's terrible. Yeah. It's awful. Okay. But the second half is so crazy and, you know, easily like, you know, it's obvious it didn't happen. So let's just give you the run through of what the second half of the story is I go back to Tijuana a week later, a Mexican guy who's albino, dwarf, with freckles on his face and orange hair, okay? And 3 of his buddies, they lure me outside of Tijuana, 15 blocks, where there's no street lights. I say three-legged dogs, right? And I'm just walking, where are we going?
Yeah.
Why would I? They lure me into an alley, right? And then these 4 people, they pull out a machete, they put it to my neck, right? But granted, also, I'm 20 years old.
Mm.
You know, I mean, look at any photos of me at 20 years old. I'm just this tiny little guy, machete to the neck. I somehow escape, right? Then I run 20 blocks in the pitch black because there's no lights, running. And I remember I said this joke. I was running like Carlos, because there was no Usain Bolt back then.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's true.
It's true. Right, there's no Usain. There's no Usain
Bolt.
Right. And then out of nowhere, 30 black.
All black.
All black U.S. Marines. They show up. They scare.
I mean, not Mexican Marines, right?
No, not Mexican.
Yeah.
And they show up and they scare the 4 guys. They chase after the 4 guys, even the little dwarf. You know, can I say dwarf? The redheaded albino dwarf with freckles on his. You know,
You can say that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then these 30 black Marines, they walk me to the border.
I have a question. I know what was the inspiration for 30 Black Marines in your story?
Also, an albino with orange hair
That's-
does not compute
That's absurd.
unless he dyed it. Actually, he could have dyed it.
Yeah, because you have to understand, I'm improvising.
There's
It's not like I have a laptop and I'm going, oh, well, like what character am I going to write? No, I'm like literally just saying it for the first time out loud on a radio show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Improv. And I remember doing the story and people going, yeah,
This is
that's
good.
crazy, right? And I have to thank Opie and Anthony because I learned how to podcast through that show. You know, I became a regular on that show. They all became really good friends of mine. I developed this muscle of being stronger and not as like, you know what I mean? I used to collapse really easily. And I just learned how to do what I do now through that show. And I became friends.
Which is like absurd storytelling.
Yeah, it's crazy storytelling. You know, I want to also give you guys an example of that. And I hate giving shit away.
Mhm.
I was never molested by a guy with Down syndrome.
Surprise, everyone.
You know, it was a joke that I said on stage, right? And then I just started saying it, and people would laugh every time I would say it,
Mhm.
and it just became a part of my origin story. You know what I mean?
And did it happen?
Like the Joker has a bunch of origin stories. I do too,
You have
right?
10, you have 10.
Yeah, but it.
Yeah. So it's like I remember my brother going one time. We were like driving to Koreatown, and he goes, "You were never molested by a guy with Down syndrome." I go, "I know." You know what I mean? Oops. You know. And I go, "But you can't say anything."